The water in the pool lit up like a bonfire. Turned out, the volcano beneath just had to stretch its legs and spew some hot lava, turning the pool into a boiling cauldron. People scattered, running out of there, but due to the blaring music, the man didn't hear his companions shout and leaped right in.
Everybody get away from the pool!
The crowd gasped in shock. His friend reached out, hoping to pull him out, only to get a handful of well-done skin instead. The man's flesh had already separated from the scalding. His friend hurriedly dialed 911. When the rescuers showed up, it was a chaotic mess. They hustled to douse the flames in the pool, but it was too late for the poor fellow. In an attempt to save him, his friend sustained severe burns on her legs and arms. The team medic quickly bandaged the woman and started intravenous therapy, lifting her onto a stretcher to be taken to the hospital. However, at that moment, the ground violently shook. The volcano in the pool erupted again, with volcanic rock hitting the man's chest. The team medic scrambled to check on the man. They hoisted him up onto a table. It was a race against time to remove that searing rock any longer, and the man's heart would have been barbecued. The medic swiftly grabbed a pair of forceps, eager to pluck out the fiery intruder, but it turned into a molten mess upon contact, with the man teetering on the edge. The medic recalled laryngoscopes could take the heat. She instructed a team member to slide a laryngoscope under the fiery rock. Together, they finally managed to pry it loose. Thankfully, the scorching heat cauterized the wound. The man miraculously made it out alive. On the other side, firefighters were in the process of evacuating the wounded when a flaming fireball crashed the party. In a blink, it swallowed one of the team members whole, leaving the captain to watch helplessly as his comrade met a fiery fate right before his eyes. A desperate struggle for breath. A woman discovers herself ensnared, her countenance encased in solidified wax, rendering her incapable of drawing breath. In her dire predicament, a man intervenes, prioritizing her urgent need for air. A fellow team member wields a surgical scalpel, meticulously removing the wax that clings to her mouth. They employ a device to immobilize her tongue, only to unveil that the wax has sealed her esophagus completely. Swiftly, they introduce a flexible tube, secure an oxygen mask, and, at last, restore her ability to respire. She is promptly rushed to the hospital. It unravels that her perilous situation transpired during a beauty treatment at a salon when an adjacent wax container suddenly discharged its contents, placing the woman in jeopardy. The woman, inexplicably unclothed, careened her vehicle directly into the fire station, a shocking spectacle that rapidly drew a crowd of onlookers. Moments later, she emerged from her car, her nudity on full display. It was as if she had been sleepwalking, and the station's captain, aware of the potential hazards of awakening sleepwalkers, promptly requested a blanket for her. The team cautiously approached her vehicle, seeking to confirm her identity. Just as the captain was about to drape the blanket over her, the woman suddenly awoke, emitting a startled scream. Fortunately, the presence of female firefighters in the station helped ease her distress. After a thorough examination, they ascertained that she had suffered no injuries. In a gesture of compassion, they decided to personally accompany her back to her residence. However, when the team inquired about her car, she appeared bewildered.
My car? Weird. I don't have a car.
Now, the mystery deepens. Where did this car come from?
Oh my God.
The woman kneeling on the ground with her head wedged firmly inside the exhaust pipe. Astonishingly, her boyfriend revealed that this peculiar predicament was the outcome of a game they were engaged in, and he had been an observer as she ventured into the pipe. Perplexed by the unusual scenario, the rescue team had no choice but to initiate their investigation from underneath the vehicle. After confirming the woman's well-being, they made the decision to detach the exhaust pipe. The firefighters took measurements, readied an electric saw, and prepared for the delicate operation. However, the boyfriend wasn't too thrilled about this course of action, given that the exhaust had recently undergone costly modifications. As the team began the cutting process, a few of them carefully secured the woman's head. With a slow and deliberate effort, they successfully liberated her from the pipe. Subsequently, they evenly applied lubricant around the pipe, facilitating its smooth removal with a gentle nudge. Ever dreamt of diving into a sea of chocolate delights like this guy? Our hero receives an invitation to tour a chocolate factory, where the overly enthusiastic director encourages everyone to savor the heavenly concoctions. With just one sip, our man is hooked. Taking advantage of a momentary distraction, he sneaks onto a platform, determined to swipe a taste of the luscious chocolate sauce. Inch by inch, he inches closer to success, only to miscalculate and slip right into the chocolatey abyss. When the rescue team arrives, it's a bizarre sight, the man submerged, only his head bobbing in the thick chocolate. Hindered by the gooey consistency, he's unable to extend his hands. Enter the firefighters resort to extracting him from under the armpits. Just as they're about to succeed, disaster strikes. Another firefighter nearly gets pulled into the chocolatey vortex. Witnessing the man's relentless sinking, a quick-thinking firefighter grabs a spray gun and squirts a light yellow liquid into the mix. Surprise! It's cocoa butter, the secret weapon to dilute the chocolate's grip. Miraculously, the plan works. A newly born infant found itself in a sewage pipe. Just moments earlier, a concerned neighbor dialed the emergency hotline, reporting the sound of a crying baby emanating from within the walls. Responding swiftly, firefighters arrived at the scene and attentively listened. A man took decisive action. He marked the wall to pinpoint the baby's location, and a careful process unfolded as they gradually dismantled the wall. With caution, they cut open the sewer pipe and, using a flashlight, identified the presence of the baby's head. Gently placing the metal pipe on the ground, they trimmed away the excess parts. The man retrieved lubricating oil from his toolkit and applied it to the baby's head and feet. Then, inserting his hand from below, he began a slow, methodical process of pushing until the baby was successfully rescued. During the oxygen supply, he observed unidentified objects in the baby's mouth. Ultimately, using his pinky finger, the man successfully removed the obstruction from the baby's mouth, and the infant was rescued from the dire situation. At the funeral, a man suddenly fell from the sky, crashing heavily onto the lifeless body. The priest quickly dialed 911 upon witnessing the scene. When the rescue team arrived, the man's body was already cold and stiff. The captain suspected him to be a stowaway, who had hidden in the aircraft's landing gear before the accident occurred, resulting in a free fall from high altitude. Although such scenarios were not entirely uncommon, as they prepared to retrieve the man's body, they unexpectedly discovered scratch marks on his arms, and a broken fingernail hidden in his sleeve. It turned out there was another woman on the landing gear, prompting the rescue team to rush to the airport. There, they found the girl's body, who had bound her hands to the plane to prevent falling. However, the girl had fallen into unconsciousness. Quickly, they administered adrenaline and performed CPR, successfully reviving the girl. Upon waking, the first words from the girl were,
No quiero estar aquí. Me quiero regresar.
A car is hanging upside down in the sky, baffling the arriving firefighters. They can't fathom how the driver got up there. Just moments ago, a woman drove in the pouring rain. Suddenly, a tornado appeared ahead. She quickly tried to turn away, but a billboard blocked her path. Nowhere to go, she was sucked into the tornado.
911, what's your emergency?
When the rescue team arrived, the captain decided to send a team up using a ladder and placed inflatable cushions on the ground. As the female rescuer reached, she discovered the woman inside, but then, the car suddenly slid. The female rescuer had to cut the securing ropes, smashed the car's skylight with a hammer, and the woman safely landed on the inflatable cushion. The female rescuer followed suit, but little did they know, the next moment,